Right, it's time for math. Lesson 7-17. Today we're going to talk about remainders. How do I use them? What do I do with them? Well, we're going to learn that sometimes we don't care about the remainder. We just let it go. We just need to know how many total go into a group. Sometimes we're going to round up or round down based on what the question is. Basically, we use a remainder however we need to. Sometimes we'll turn to a fraction. Sometimes we won't use a remainder. We'll make it an exact answer with decimals because we need the decimal number. So let's talk about that. Turn in your books to page 311. 311. Page 311, decide what to do with the remainder. Let's look at number 1. Number 1 says, sometimes you ignore the remainder. Let's look at this problem, when we might ignore the remainder. The gift wrapping department of a store has a roll of ribbon, 1,780 inches long. It takes 1 yard of ribbon, or 36 inches, to wrap each gift. How many gifts can be wrapped? Well, we divide the total number of inches, 1,780, divided by 36. All right, so if I take that and go 1,000, let's use the space down here. We'll shrink. Oops. We'll shrink this up. Make that a little smaller. 1,780 inches divided by 36 inches. Okay, 36 doesn't go into 1, doesn't go into 17. How many times does 36 go into 178? Well, let's see, 36, 72, twice that's 144. So we're looking at 144. Let's go 36 times 5, because that's 36 times 4, just to make sure. 30, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, yep, 5 is too big, so we're going to go 4. 36 times 4 is 144. I subtract, I get 4, 3, 34. 34 is less than 36, bring down the 0. And 36 times 9, I'm guessing, 54. 9 times 3 is 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Yep, times 9. 324. Subtract, and I get 6. Remainder 16. I don't care about the remainder because that's how many inches of ribbon are left. What I care about is the answer only. The 49, how many gifts can be wrapped? I can wrap 49 gifts because I got 49 sections of ribbon 36 inches long. I ignore the remainder because that's just how many's left. Okay? It doesn't help me. It's not enough to wrap another gift, so that's why I ignore the remainder on number 1. Sometimes we need the full answer and we can ignore the remainder depending upon the question. Okay, let's look at number 2. Sometimes you round up to the next whole number. Well, what kind of situation would that be? Well, let's look at this. Number 2, there are 247 people traveling to the basketball tournament by bus this year. Each bus holds 52 people. Okay, well, when we do the division, 247 people traveling divided by each bus holds 52. The answer will tell us how many buses we need. Well, again, 52 doesn't fit into 2 or 24. So we take 50, 50, 100, 152, 250. 5's too many, so we're going to take 52 times 4. That gives me 8, 208. 4, 208. Subtract 17, make that a 3, becomes 9. Okay, so I have an answer of 4 remainder 39. What does that mean? How many buses will be needed? Is it just 4 buses will be needed? No, because in this case, the remainder means there's 39 more people after you fill 4 buses that don't fit on the bus. So I round up the 4, I round up to a 5. I need 5 buses. So sometimes the remainder is what's left over, and we need to take and get another bus for those other 39 people. Okay, that's what we do for 5th grade. We go someplace. If we don't fit on 2 buses, we get the 3rd. Otherwise, we'd have to leave those people behind. That wouldn't be nice. Okay, so sometimes we take that number and use the remainder to say, okay, we have a remainder, which means we need to round up so everybody fits. Okay? Good. Let's look down at number 3 now. Number 3 says, sometimes use the remainder to form a fraction. So number 3, the 28 students in Mrs. Colby's class will share 98 slices of pizza equally at the class picnic. How many slices will each student get? All right, well, if we have 98 slices of pizza, 98 slices of pizza divided equally by 28 people, okay, 28 times 3, I'm guessing. Let's see if that works. It's my guessing number, because 30 times 3 is 90, but I don't think it'll make it 4 times. 24, 3 times 2 is 6, 7, 8. 84, subtract 14. Okay, now what do I do with that remainder? Well, I put the remainder, 14 becomes the numerator, and I put that over the divisor, which becomes the denominator. 3 and 14 28ths. In this case, I can reduce that, and 3 and 14 28ths can become 3 and 1/2. When I put the answer in a fraction, it tells me the amount of pizza. Each student will get 3 1/2 slices of pizza. So the fraction tells me exactly the amount. So sometimes we want to use a fraction. 3 1/2 slices. Now again, if we just said 3 remainder 14, what does that 14 mean? 3 and 14 more pieces of pizza? No, you got to put it in a fraction. Okay. And we did this bottom part because we took from 14 28ths and we reduced it. We took 3 and 14 28ths and reduced it to 3 1/2. Okay, we have to simplify sometimes a fraction to have it make more sense. All right. Turn the page to page 312. Next situation is sometimes use a decimal number instead of the remainder. Now for this one, the division's already been done for us. It was done on the last page too, but I didn't like the fact that they didn't show you the reducing. Here we have 16 friends earned $348 at a car wash. Dollars and cents. We need decimals because change is shown in decimal form. They want to divide the money equally. To find out how much money each person gets, one of the friends will divide as shown. Each friend will get $21.75. So what they did, 348, they put down the decimal and the 2 zeros for dollars and cents, and they divided out to dollars and cents. Okay, each friend got $21.75 because they divided and got a decimal answer. When you need to have your answer in dollars and cents, you always need to divide to a decimal. Okay, once in a while you get lucky and a fraction might work because it's 1/4, and we know that 1/4 of a dollar is 25 cents. But when we talk about 33 cents, 72 cents, any other random numbers other than 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4, we need to have the exact change divided equally. Okay. Another time we could use decimals is when a problem like number 4. A rectangular garden has an area of 882 square meters. The long side of the garden is 35 meters long. How long is the short side? Well, if we know that the area is 882, and we divide that by how long one side is, it'll give us the length of the other side. Okay, 35 doesn't go into 8, but 35 will go into 88 2 times. 35 times 2 is 70. Subtract, get 8 and 18. 18 is less than 35. Bring down the 2. And I probably should have moved over a little bit. I'll move over just to give myself a little more space to do this problem. 35 goes into 82. Well, I know it goes in twice, 70. So 4 times would be 140. So we're going to try 35 times 5. It's an ugly 5. That's 25. 5 times 3 is 15, 16, 17, 175. Perfect. 5 and 175. Subtract 12, 8 to a 7. It gives me 7. Okay. 25 remainder 7. That doesn't tell me anything about length. So I need to put a decimal in here and a 0 and bring it down. 35 goes into 70. Decimal in my answer. 2 times 35 is 70. Subtract and get 0. 25.2 meters. Now that tells me something. I know what 25 and 2/10 meters is. Okay, that I can actually measure. That's a really ugly 5 again. I don't know what's the problem with my 5s are today. 25 and 2/10 meters. So sometimes when we're measuring or using dollars and cents. Decimals make much more sense. Okay? Sometimes the remainder is the answer to the problem, depending upon the question. Look at number 5. A bagel shop has 138 bagels to be packed into boxes of 12 to be sold. The extra bagels are for the workers. How many bagels will the workers get? So the bagel shop's packing boxes of bagels. The extra bagels are for the workers. So rather than packing them first, they can separate the ones the workers want if they know how many to separate. That's when we divide, and we want the remainder. The remainder is going to answer the question. So, real quickly here, move this up. We'll do 138 down here. 138 bagels divided by 12 boxes. What's left over? Well, subtract, get 1, bring down the 8. 1 is 12, subtract. 8 minus 2 is 6. Remainder 6. That's 6 bagels left over for the workers, because they're asking for what's left over to answer the question. Okay? What does the 11 tell us? The 11 tells us how many boxes will be packed. So we have answers more than what they're asking. 11 boxes of 12 bagels will be packed. There'll be 6 left over for the workers. All right, now we're going to give it a shot. What I want you to do is work on problem 6 and 7. Pause your video. Solve these. Look at the question. Decide first what am I going to, what kind of remainder am I going to, what am I going to do with the remainder? Am I going to put it in a fraction? Am I going to leave it a remainder? Am I going to use decimals? Then solve it. We'll come back and we'll solve these together and check your answers. Pause your video and work on 6 and 7 now. All right, see how you did. At the Cactus Flower Cafe, all the tips are divided equally among the waiters. Last night, the 16 waiters took in $1,108. How much did each waiter get in tips? Well, right now we know I'm going to want to solve this with decimals because I've got money. So I've got $1,108. $8.00. I'm going to put the decimals in right away for dollars and cents, so I have it and I have the space. Okay, and divide that amongst 16 workers. Okay, 16 doesn't go into 1 or 11. 16 goes to 110. Let's see, 16 round to 20, that'd be 5, but it's smaller, so I'm going to try 6. 16 times 6, that's 36. 6, 7, 8, 9, 96. That should do it. 6, 96, subtract. Make that a 10, borrow from that, make it a 0, and then I got 10. 10 minus 6 is 4, 10 minus 9 is 1. Ooh, just fits. 14 is just smaller than 16. Bring down the 8. That's an arrow, by the way. Just using my finger on the iPad isn't doing too well, my fat fingers. All right, now how many times 16 go in 148? Well, I know it goes in 6 times to make it 96, so I'm going to jump up because 160 is what we multiply to get 10, so I'm going to see if it's 16 times 9. It's 54, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 144. Yep, so that's 9, 144, subtract, I get 4, bring down the first 0. 16 goes into 40, well, 16 times 2 is 32, 16 times 3 would be too much, so that'd be 32, subtract, I get 8, bring down the 0, 16 into 80, well, 32, 64, 16 times 5, I believe, will get you 80, 30, 5, 6, 7, 8, 80, so we put a 5 there, 80, so we've got $69, each waiter will get $69.25. Perfect. All right, number 7. Let's see how you did on this one. A gardener needs to move 2,150 pounds of dirt. He can carry 98 pounds in his wheelbarrow. How many trips will he need to make with the wheelbarrow? This is one where you're going to be rounding up with the remainder. You're going to do the division, but you're going to take, and if there's a remainder, we're going to round up because you're going to have a little more dirt left over that you have to take one more wheelbarrow trip. So 2,150 pounds of dirt divided by 98 pounds in each wheelbarrow. Doesn't go into 2, doesn't go into 21. 98's easy math, it's almost 100, so that's going to go in 2 times. 98 times 2 is 196. 96, subtract, borrow, 0, that's a 10, borrow, so that's 9, 1, 19, bring down the 0. 98 goes 190 only one time. 1 times 98 is 98, subtract 2, 9 becomes an 8, becomes 9, 92 more pounds, so a remainder of 92, which tells me what? I've got to make that 22nd trip. So 22 trips with my wheelbarrow. 21 full ones, and then one that's almost full. 92 pounds on the last trip. All right, turn to page 313. I want you to complete page 313, only one problems 8 through 13. That's 6 problems. Practice. We're going to get to practice division. We're going to practice thinking about what we do with the remainders. Okay, when you're all done, come back to the video. Okay, pause your video, come back to it, and I will show you the answers so you can check and make sure you got the right answers, which will also tell you, because of the form of your answers, will tell you if you did the right thing with your remainder. Okay, good luck. Pause your video, come back when you're done. All right. If you're still not done with 8 through 13, you need to wait. Don't continue your video till you are done with them. Let's turn the page and see how you did. 8 through 13. Okay, pause your video so you can check your answers. You can see number 8, you put your answer in a fraction form. Number 9, we looked to see how many colored markers can Pablo buy, so we just looked at the answer itself. We didn't have to worry about a remainder. 10, we put it in decimals. Number 11, how many of them must sit out at one time? We looked at just the remainder. And then we completed the rest. 12 through 13, check your answers. All right, once you feel good, you're ready for your homework. Homework and remembering, 7-17. Okay, this is going to be similar to this, but it's going to actually have a place where you mark. Not only do you do the division, but you mark what you did with the remainder. Okay, you're going to have 5 choices. It's kind of like multiple choice for the remainder part, but you're going to have to still do the division. And then it's a good remembering page for you. So homework and remembering, 7-17. Make sure you know how to do this. If you should be good on the division now. Keep working. And if you're not sure what to do with the remainder, don't be scared to ask. Get her done.